So on this project, we were twin trolling with a bigelow net with two bigelow nets, but one had a rock hopper on it on one side, like the bigelow toes, and the other one had a chain sweep that was modified to fit the bigelow net. And we were twin trolling, so we're towing two nets at the same time in the same space, and it's as good an experiment as you get in using a control versus an experimental net. And we fished two 1 week legs. The first week was from the west side of the cultivator to the east end of the northern edge, and I think we had about 59 tows that were good tows, meaning we didn't have a bag of mud that ripped the cod end off, or some obstruction in the net, or something that disqualified the tow. We had a large number of gray soles, which was the targeted species. The three species were gray sole primarily, and dabs, American place, and thorny skates as secondary. And we had a large number of representative tows. There was 117 total over the course of two 1 week legs. So we followed the bigelow protocols. We've made 20-minute tows. We used the scope ratios that the bigelow uses, and followed the protocols that the bigelow does as closely as possible. We did length frequencies on all gray sole, dabs, thorny skates, all flounders and skates, and codfish, except when we got too many fish in the tow, then we did a subsample. We'd say a lot of tows we had between 5 and 9 baskets of gray soles, so then we would subsample, only subsampling, measuring, doing length frequencies on only 1 to 150 samples, so 1 to 2 baskets. So okay. It's overall we got 117 tows. We had we sampled about over 30,000 pounds of gray soles, and 117 20-minute tows over the course of 2 weeks, which is about 4% of the ACL. Believe it or not, it's about 25% of what has been landed to date. We landed on an experiment in two weeks using one net that doesn't catch much and one net that does. The efficiency number, so what we're trying to target here is the efficiency number, or what the detectability is of the bigelow net. So if we put a net that is meant to target flatfish, and is efficient at targeting flatfish, and we assume 100% catchability, which it never is 100%. But you have to start somewhere. So if we assume 100%, then we figure out how many the bigelow net caught in relation to that. So the number is 0.27 is what we came up with in the end as an efficiency number. So in other words, the bigelow net with the rock hopper is catching 27 for every 100 that the chain sweep caught. Okay. So that has the potential this information gets incorporated in the assessment, to scale populations by several times from what the assessment is now.
Yeah. Did that surprise you?
No, I mean, we're not really surprised. We did the same work in yellowtails in November, and for yellowtails and window pane, and we got very similar numbers. There's a range for all flatfish have like a detectability number differs day and night, but each flatfish species is different behavioral wise, so that we have so some species lift up and are able to get caught better by the rock hopper, and others are not. So, but that's what we saw in November too. We got very similar numbers on the yellowtail and window pane. That work unfortunately got thrown out in the track that just happened for yellowtails. So we've been doing a lot of work to try to get this pretty tight and not be let it get thrown out this time in the gray sole assessment.
And what was the reason for throwing out the yellowtail work?
I wasn't at the track, but I mean the biggest reason was they hadn't seen it. They didn't have time to review it.
Need more time.
And but the work was done in November, and the track just happened in August. So it wasn't that, it didn't get worked up and presented for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that was part of the problem, or.
But that's one of the major problems with the time it takes to determine anything.
Right, so this project actually was a really good opportunity to say, here's a need for information, here's, we have a boat, and we have the capability to go out and fetch the information, so,
Right.
and we did. And between John Manderson and Dave Richardson and Mike Martin, they got everything written up in time for the data review meeting in September. So we did the work in August.
Yeah.
It was presented at the data review in September. It's going to be presented, the results will be presented at the modeling workshop in October, and it has the potential to be incorporated into the assessment in December. So it has the potential to be a good project in terms of time-wise.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for is
Well,
some
it'd be a
time.
real sign of progress if they actually can get this incorporated by December, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be, yeah.
Yeah. And was it NOAA that actually sponsored this research?
Right, so it was through the Northeast Fisheries Science Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
we're-
credit to them for that, right?
So far,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot more work that needs to be done, but yeah, I mean, it's.
Yeah, but collaborative surveys are what we all want
Yeah,
going
absolutely.
forward.
I mean, that's my opinion is, that the problems, I mean, the overall mismatch between what we see on the ocean and what comes out in the management in the end is a problem with the modeling. It's not a problem with the science, like the survey. It's a problem with how that information is interpreted and how it's incorporated into the assessment.
Right.
So,
Great. Thanks very much.
all right, thank you.